Oquendo, 24-3, 13 KOs, facing a late substitution, Rusty, and Demetrius Hopkins, who is the nephew of Bernard.
Undefeated as well, 28-0. Both of them not big punches, but boy, they went at it toe-to-toe, and this was a bad blood fight. Holt retains the title, Dutchie.
Yeah, with a split decision win. Heavyweight, James Toney.
And I mean heavyweight.
Right, 76-3, 43 KOs. Remember, Freddie Roach told us a couple of weeks ago, this was the most talented boxer he's ever had. Also the biggest boxer he's ever had, taking on Oquendo.
Yeah, and this one looked a little shocking. It was a split decision. The one judge who gave it to Toney gave it 114-113, and that's because Oquendo was deducted a point for hitting in the back of the head, so he would have gotten a draw on that card and won it on the other two. So a little bit of a controversial decision, and look at Oquendo's face. He can't believe it.
No, I couldn't believe it either. He looked to be the better of the two boxers. Super middleweight contender, Andre Ward, 16-0, 11 KOs, taking on the hard-hitting Esteban Camus.
Yeah, and these guys are, you know, Ward is just getting better and better each time. I mean, quick, fast hands, able to switch to the southpaw stance, as you see right there. And then look at it, the good, sharp right hand here with Camus. Camus just really couldn't handle the defense. A beautiful TKO win for Ward, but watch the referee. He kind of moves in a little bit quickly here. Watch this shot, a little shot over the top. That one knocks his head back. Yeah, watch, the referee's watching, and then he just jumps in for no reason. That was kind of an early hook, if you ask me.
Yeah, TKO for Ward in the third round. You're right. He looks better and better. That's a young guy who we've got our eyes on. Unbeaten WBC #1 super featherweight Urbano Antion, 24-0, 17 KOs, taking on Juan Ramon Cruz.
And Antion with beautiful left hook to the body. I mean, I just love it when fighters mix. Look at that shot underneath. It was the shots to the head weren't bothering. Boom, he drops that left hook into the body. Look at him still looking to dig downstairs. Antion looking beautiful, hard puncher, strong, digs to the body and head. Cruz just can't hold up to this. It's the body attack that does it for Antion.
Yeah, you love that, eh? Go to the body and the head will fall. A fourth-round knockout for Antion. Former WBC 108-pound world champion, Brian Valoria, 23-2, 13 KOs, taking on Benji Garcia.
Yeah, and Valoria, boy, he don't look like he's 108 here, but he's just banging away hard, trying to get Garcia out of there, and it won't take long before he does. Valoria moving in, good, fast action fighter like he always has been, and that's it for Garcia.
Right, second-round knockout for Valoria. Some other results to pass your way. Former heavyweight champion Riddick Bowe back in the ring. Go figure. Wins an 8-round unanimous decision. It was the 41-year-old's first bout since 2005. And these guys just can't give it up.
I know, I don't get it. In a surprise, former contender star Cornelius Bundred scored a 5th-round knockout over previously undefeated Zorbek Beysangorov. So that was a good win for Bundred.
That was a good name for you to produce. Raul Garcia, I'm glad you got that one. Scored a unanimous decision over Jose Luis Varela. He retains the IBF mini flyweight title.
And Agbeko won a hard-fought majority decision over William Gonzalez to retain his IBF bantamweight crown. Dutchie?
You know, like I said, I don't know what it is with these guys. They just simply cannot walk away from the sport. One used to be a giant, and one is a giant. At one point in time, Evander Holyfield was the biggest name in all of boxing after he took out Mike Tyson. He is going to return to the ring this upcoming weekend as he climbs in there, as I mentioned, with the giant Nikolai Valuev.
It seems to be a consensus in the boxing world that this fight should not even be taking place. It's a stretch to say that Holyfield, now aged 46, is worthy of a shot at any belt, let alone a world title. Evander has not fought since a loss well over a year ago. While he did go the distance against then world champion Sultan Ibragimov, the 4-time heavyweight champ will be hard-pressed to match that feat when he meets the 7'2" Nikolai Valuev. Despite his massive size, Valuev is not a huge puncher, but still has stopped 34 opponents. The Russian is in his second reign as WBA champ. Both title runs starting with wins over John Ruiz. Since losing the title to Ruslan Chagayev early last year, Valuev has won 3 straight bouts, including wins over Canadian Jean-Francois Bergeron, Sergey Lahovich, and the aforementioned Ruiz. Even though it likely won't be pretty, George Foreman has showed us you never know what to expect from a 46-year-old.
You know, Evander has lost 6 of his last 12 fights. You can see Valuev and Holyfield live on TSN2 this Saturday, December the 20th. Our coverage starts at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. All right, we have to take a short break. Still to come. You do not want to miss our outstanding 8. It is the best fighters from this past year as Rusty counts them down. You're watching In This Corner.
TSN program is presented in high-definition television by JVC. JVC HD, the perfect experience.
In a blind tasting of the world's finest vodkas, which one did the New York Times declare their hands-down favorite? Clearly, Smirnoff.
A perfectly mixed Grand Cosmopolitan comes home. New Smirnoff cocktail.
When we Canadian sports fans need effective relief from coughs, sore throats, and nasal congestion, we can rely on Fisherman's Friend lozenges, even when our throats are sore from cheering. So keep on cheering with Fisherman's Friend. Fisherman's Friend gives you more to cheer about. You could win one of 4 JVC home entertainment systems or one of 10 JVC HD TVs in the Fisherman's Friend Keep On Cheering contest. Visit fishermansfriend.ca to enter and keep on cheering with Fisherman's Friend.
All right, gentlemen, today's race is a test of driving skills and ingenuity.
When we hit the log road, it was so smooth, we didn't feel anything.
That's insane.
Full-length coil suspension made driving unbelievable.
Next, Criminal Minds.
The media has already dubbed him the Road Warrior.
It is now the single most important thing in his life, and he will die before giving it up.
He's evolving, and quickly.
So what do?
We release our profile to the public. Somebody out there knows this man, they just don't realize it.
I think he's gonna kill again soon.
Hey, buddy, you all right?
A new episode of Criminal Minds, tonight at 9, 8 Central on CTV.
Welcome back to the show, and how about this? Heavyweight contender David Haye claims he's got a verbal deal to face WBC heavyweight champion Vitaly Klitschko in London, of all places, next June. According to Haye, the two sides sat down. They talked numbers that made sense for both sides. They just need to dot the I's and cross the T's. The WBC has stated that Klitschko has a mandatory obligation to face Juan Carlos Gomez first before any bout with Haye can take place.
Well, that's a good fight, and a deal is close to a terrific fight for early 2009 between multi-division Mexican superstar, my man, Juan Manuel Marquez, and former unified lightweight champion Juan Diaz. February 28th or a date in March have been mentioned for the fight, which would be held in Las Vegas and possibly be for the IBO lightweight title. The winner could end up facing Nate Campbell.
Yeah, who the Baby Bulls already lost to. The IBF announced that on January the 6th, a purse bid will be held for an IBF super middleweight eliminator for the #1 spot between Vitaly Klitschko and Libretto Andrade. The winner of that bout would be in line to face Lucien Bute. Who wouldn't want to see a Bute-Andrade rematch?
I guess, and Dutchy, Cuban heavyweight sensation Odlanier Solis will face another tough test in former title challenger, what the heck, Owen Beck, on January 9th in Prim, Nevada. The U.S. debut for the 2004 Olympic gold medalist Solis will be featured on ESPN's Friday Night Fights. The card bill as Cuba Libre also features Escalante Lara and fast-rising featherweight star Dutchy Yuriokis Gamboa.
All right, time now for Rusty's Outstanding 8. Last week we looked at the best fights of 08. This week we're going to specifically look at the top fighters from this past year. Punchy, you ready to go?
I am ready.
All right, ring it up. Here's number 8.
Vic Darchinyan, the Raging Bull, showed how powerful he really is as he scored crushing KOs against Dmitry Kirilov and Christian Maheras to become undisputed super flyweight champion of the world. He looks to start 2009 off with a fight against Jorge Arce.
Number 7.
Vladimir Klitschko, after beating Sultan Ibragimov by unanimous decision in their unification fight, Klitschko would score back-to-back KOs against Toney Thompson and Hasim Rahman, securing his place as king of the heavies.
Number 6.
Bernard Hopkins, an underdog once again. Hopkins nearly shocked everyone with a close decision loss to unbeaten Joe Calzaghe. Another undefeated fighter wouldn't be as lucky as Hopkins puts on a remarkable performance in schooling Kelly Pavlik.
Number 5.
Juan Manuel Lopez, 4 straight wins, 4 straight knockouts, including a crushing first-round KO of undefeated champion Ponce de Leon, made for a great 2008 for this undefeated super bantamweight.
Look out for the left. Number 4.
My man Juan Manuel Marquez. Although he suffered a close split decision loss to Manny Pacquiao, Marquez once again showed that he is among the world's elite fighters as he KO'd Joel Casamayor in a thrilling 2008 Fight of the Year candidate.
Number 3.
Paul Williams, after avenging the lone loss of his career with a stunning one-round KO of Carlos Quintana, Williams went on to knock out Verno Phillips. 2008 saw Williams score knockouts in 3 different weight classes, Dutchie.
Number 2.
Antonio Margarito, yes sir, a perfect year for the Tijuana Tornado. After beating Kermit Cintron again, Margarito turned his sights on unbeaten Miguel Cotto. In a thrilling war, Margarito came from behind to score a convincing and powerful knockout win.
Number 1.
No doubt about it, Manny Pacquiao, a battle of the superstars. Pacquiao scored a split decision win over Juan Manuel Marquez. He would follow that up with a devastating KO of David Diaz and, of course, the annihilation of Oscar De La Hoya, undoubtedly boxing's greatest champion.
Russ Anber's Outstanding 8 is brought to you by the fresh, great taste of Arby's. One bite will have you saying, I'm thinking Arby's.
Rusty's now climbed on his soapbox, and yeah, the fighter of the year, it has to be Manny. But you have to explain to me, what do you got in putting Vladimir Klitschko in there? Where's Joe Calzaghe? Who's your Canadian fighter of the year? Rusty, give us an explanation.
Well, thanks, Dutchie. And not since the halcyon days of the great Henry Armstrong has such a small man made such a gigantic impression. Manny Pacquiao's masterful performance against Oscar De La Hoya cemented what had been a really, truly outstanding year for him. The Filipino southpaw has not left any doubt as to who is boxing's #1 fighter, pound for pound. Pacquiao dominated David Diaz before knocking him out in round 9 and never lost a minute of his one-sided affair with Oscar. But one fighter who seems to be able to stay round for round and punch for punch with Manny is the great Juan Manuel Marquez. In hindsight, the loss to Pacquiao truly showed what a remarkable fighter he really is. As for Joe Calzaghe, many of you may be picking him as your fighter of the year, but as you can see, he's missing from my list. While there's no doubt as to the skill, conditioning, and work rate of the Welsh Dragon, I just wasn't convinced that a close decision over Bernard Hopkins and a win over a very faded Roy Jones Jr. was criteria enough to put him into contention. Finally, from a Canadian perspective, Joachim Alcin and Steve Molitor both suffered their first defeats as they lost their world titles, and Lucien Bute barely held on to his world crown as Liberato Andrade nearly stopped him in the dying seconds of their epic struggle. Jean-Pascal's spirited effort against Carl Froch in his bid for the WBC crown certainly has put him in good stead as we enter 2009. Finally, with 3 dominating wins in 08, including a 12th round stoppage of Hector Munoz, my pick for Canadian Fighter of the Year goes to North American champion Antonin Decary. Quietly and professionally, Decary has worked his way to the verge of a world title shot. So all in all, another outstanding year of boxing from some truly outstanding fighters. Heroes emerged, contenders conquered, and champions reigned. But all showed what courage, determination, and heart are all about. Here's to you, boys. Can't wait to see what you've got in store for us for next year. Dutch?
Still ahead, you get your final chance in 2008 to get Russ's answers. Final Flurry is coming up next.
In this corner on TSN is brought to you by the fresh, great taste of Arby's. One bite will have you saying, I'm thinking Arby's.
From time to time, we get lost.
A lot.
All the time.
We are very close.
So, we picked up the Nexstar 2-in-1 GPS from Canadian Tire. Has a 4-inch wide screen and reads out street names and directions.
And the GPS switches to a backup camera that activates when the car is in reverse.
So, backwards or forwards, there is no getting lost this season.
As long as you turn it on.
The Nexstar 2-in-1 GPS, only at Canadian Tire.
Do you have your Lotto 649 Happy Dance ready? Here are some of the latest Lotto 649 winners. Start practicing those dance steps because you could be next.
That was quite the portfolio review.
Come on. What are we going to do?
Maybe we should look at something different this year.
Maybe...
There must be other options.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Good time for a second opinion.
Yeah. Really good time.
Get a second opinion on your investments.
A free, no-obligation way to explore your options and make the most of what you have. Scotiabank.
Tonight, Jerome McGinley and the Flames head to the land of 10,000 lakes to battle Northwest Division rivals Oquendo and the Wild. Molson Canadian Wednesday Night Hockey. Flames, Wild. Tonight at 7:30 on TSN. In this corner's final flurry is brought to you in part by the rugged 2009 Dodge Ram. Never back down.
All right, time now for Final Flurry. There's the bell. Here's
last
the first
one of the
question.
year, brother.
Yep, last one. Make it good, Punchy. What's your prediction on Valuev Holyfield?
That's the best
no,
thing
I know, but
you could come up with.
No, listen, it wasn't me. This was from Yan in Oshawa. He wants to know who wins this fight.
You know what? Everybody's expecting Valuev to win.
So just say Valuev and we'll move on.
Okay, well, let's say Valuev and we'll move on. But you know what? You know, Holyfield has always been this enigma, right? This you never know what to expect. I, for one, am going to see what a 46-year-old can do. And there's a little part of you, and I don't care what you say, there's a little part deep down that says, wow, if this old guy could pull it off. That's what you're thinking, because that's what I'm thinking.
So what are you saying?
Valuev is supposed to win.
Okay,
he'll win a decision.
Boy, nobody rides the fence quite like
he'll
you.
He'll win a decision. I'm picking Valuev to win, but there's a part of me inside that just hopes that this 46-year-old guy pulls it off.
Yeah, he's lost 6 of his last 12 fights. For, you know, if he was fighting anybody decent as opposed to Valuev, maybe. But
no, because
we'll
if he was fighting somebody decent, he'd have no chance.
Yeah, he'd have absolutely no chance. Do you see anything in Sugar Shane Mosley in his upcoming fight against Antonio Margarito? This is from Blair. He wants to know that would lead you to believe that Sugar Shane has any chance of knocking him out like he's predicted
I know. You know what? I've got to tell you something. And you know I've thought of, and I know you have the problem with Mosley using the steroid use.
EPO.
Yeah, right, whatever, EPO. But as a man, he's a 100% man. I mean, he gets hit on the chin. He fights back. He's a pure man, been fighting since he's a kid. No doubt about it. This guy is all man.
Yeah,
now,
and EPO.
Yeah, okay. Now, I just don't think that there's any reason to believe that after the chin, which Margarito, along with Librato Andrade, may have the 2 greatest chins in boxing today, I don't see how Mosley has any chance of stopping this guy like he's saying. There is no way he's stopping him. Does he put on a great performance? Yes, but I am not picking against my man, Antonio Margarito, against Sugar Shane Mosley.
Not unless Sugar Shane takes all that EPO, puts it in a big jug, and then hits him over the head.
Even that might not do it.
Right. From Ivan, he wants to know, it only makes sense for a trilogy between your boy Marquez and Pacquiao. So far, Manny's got 1 win, 1 draw. Don't you think that makes more sense than Pacquiao taking on Hatton?
You know what? Maybe from a financial sense, no, it doesn't, because certainly a Hatton fight against Pacquiao would be, I mean, you want to talk about breaking the bank. I mean, this would be ridiculous, the money that would be generated by a Hatton fighting Manny Pacquiao. So I know, and as much as I love Juan Manuel Marquez, and that's the fight that just from the right thing to do, the only guy who has been able to stay with Pacquiao in the last years has been Juan Manuel Marquez. And you got to think that fight has to be made. But from a financial point of view, Pacquiao might have Floyd Mayweather Jr. in the rematch, and now Hatton.
That's the fight I want to see in 09. Yeah. Honestly, I would be very happy in 09 if we could see Manny step into the ring with pretty boy Floyd. We will return in 09, January the 6th, from all of us here. Thanks for watching the show, not only this week, but for each and every week.
We have the greatest fans of everybody.
We really do. It's been an absolute pleasure. Happy holidays to all. Have a great one, folks.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
09.
See you in the new year.
Russ Anber's Clothing by Pellegrino Castronovo.